Well, thanks for joining me on Ask Lisa, your opportunity to shoot me some questions. Today's question, the first one, this comes from Robert in Anderson. And apparently Robert met with our staff when we did a mobile office tour a couple weeks ago, I guess. And Robert asks, the national debt, how do we turn it around? Do we raise taxes or cut spending? Well, Robert, I would suggest that most people in this country believe that we need to cut spending, that we're already taxed high enough. So it really does come down to the spending side of it. And I think we need to kind of put it in context in terms of where we are insofar as the debt that this nation owes. Each child in this country is looking at an individual debt that they owe of $85,000. I tell my 17-year-old, you owe $85,000. And by 2017, the amount that you're going to owe is $195,000. It's incredible to think about it. But let me put it into context in another way. For every dollar that is spent in this country, 40 cents of it is borrowed. Now that ought to tell us that the spending is out of control. The answer is not increasing the taxes on the men and women and the wage earners of this country. It is to cut the spending. Let's go to the next question here. It is from Seth in North Pole. He emailed saying, rather than everybody standing back and complain about BP not doing enough, why doesn't the U.S. government step in and help fix the problem? Yelling and threatening BP won't get us anywhere. Only action will. BP may be responsible for the accident, but we should also be responsible to step in and help. Stop blaming and start acting. Well, I will tell you, Seth has it pegged. What the people in the Gulf want from those of us in Congress right now, they want to know that all hands are on deck, that every resource possible is out there to try to stem this disaster that continues to unfold as we speak. And knowing that the greatest likelihood of technological success in containing this is going to be the relief wells that are in the process of being drilled, but aren't going to be at that point where they can help until perhaps mid-August. So what are we doing other than pointing fingers? We've got to be providing constructive answers to help the people in the Gulf. This is not the time to use the Gulf crisis to enact policies, a comprehensive energy bill that is nothing but a cap and tax proposal. That's not what we need to be doing. I don't often quote stand-up late-night guys, but Jay Leno has said, why don't we use the oil spill crisis to clean up the oil spill? What a concept. Well, let me tell you one of the things that I've been doing. I am in the process now of introducing legislation that really focuses on the oil spill in the Gulf and how we provide for compensation. There's an expedited claims process that helps the people who have been injured receive their compensation, and in an open and a transparent and in a quick way, and in a way where they don't have to basically turn over to attorneys everything that they have received in their compensation. We deal with the oil spill liability. We need to increase the liability cap that is currently in place at $75 million. We need to increase it. I'm proposing that we do it in a way that's thoughtful and is based on a series of risk factors, with the overall approach being a concept similar to what we call Price-Anderson, where if a spiller reaches that liability cap, that all in the industry would pay, so that there is no taxpayer liability out there, but that the spiller and the industry pay. We also increase the oil spill liability fund. We also put in place regional advisory committees, as we have in the state of Alaska. We've got the RACs, as we call them, in Cook Inlet and Prince William Sound, where the communities are engaged in helping to build the response plans. We provide for greater research and development when it comes to response capability and capacity. The technology that allows us to drill in the Gulf has gone so far in these past several decades, but we really haven't put the same energy into developing the technologies that allow us to better respond in the event of a disaster. So there's a whole series of initiatives that I have brought together in legislation that will provide direct help for those in need now, as well as put in place policies that will take us well into the future. Hopefully we will never have a disaster the size and scope of what we're seeing come out of the Gulf right now. But if that should happen, we need to have policies in place that make sense. That's what I'm doing, rather than kind of pointing the fingers and engaging in the name calling. So, good to be with you and answering a couple questions, and we'll be back with you next week on Ask Lisa. Thanks.